Hi, I'm Sandra Palomino, Director of Historical Manuscripts at Heritage Auction Galleries, and we're visiting today with Claude and Inez Harkins, and they'll be giving us a tour of their wonderful Freedom collection of early Americana. Claude, can you tell me a little bit about how you got started collecting?
Well, I was a typical 12-year-old collecting arrowheads and coins and stamps. My mother acquired a collection of Indian relics from a Creek Indian village site from the burial site, and there were several hundred items, and I converted my 10 by 10 foot playhouse into a museum, and field trips from my school classes would come down to see my artifacts, and I became a museum curator. And then from there, I evolved in my adult life into collecting Civil War items, then Revolutionary War items, which is the reason we're here right now. And I now have a 3,800 square foot playhouse that we live in. And I'd like to take you throughout the place to see all the wonderful treasures that we have. This is a painting of George Washington. The title is Washington at Trenton. It's after John Trumbull, and it was done by Adolph Ulrich Whitmiller, who Washington sat for on one occasion. What's unique about it, it's on cradle board. And then I'd like to move to this beautiful bronze bust done by Houdon. This is a copy of the original one that was done in 1785. At Mount Vernon by the French sculptress Houdon. Now I'd like to show you this terracotta bust that was done by Charles Louis Courbet, who was a protege of Houdon, who made the original light mask of Washington in 1785. It is now at Mount Vernon, as I told you. So this is an original terracotta. No reproductions have been made of this, of George Washington. This is a copy of the famous Lansdowne painting done by Gilbert Stuart. The original's in the White House at this particular time. This was done by Sanford Mason in the early 1800s. This is a very famous painting titled The Death of General Wolfe. This actually illustrates the end of the French and Indian War at Quebec. General Wolfe is laying there mortally wounded, and here his compatriots are around him. This particular painting, the original, was done by Benjamin West. This was done in his studio and was assumed by his son. This is a very famous engraving of the death of General Wolfe that thousands of these have been produced. We found through our research that the Princess Frederica, who was the daughter-in-law of King George, and she was Duchess of York, actually owned this engraving, and it was in her museum.